don't think playing or not playing, is in my hands. I don't think. I think based on the situation, it's if things happen, things turn out where I play, then I'll be out there and I'll be ready to play. So I'm ready to play right now. I know if you see the quarterback play in the league right now, I know I'm capable of doing better than that.
Do you think he's capable of playing better than some of the starting QBs in the league?
I do think he's capable of it. I don't like what he just said in that last comment. You got to be careful. You just got to be careful. Every little thing gets held against him. And most of it is not his fault. He seems to be a great kid. Obviously, he threw for over 4,000 yards last year at Colorado, completed over 72% of his passes. He was balling, okay? Give him credit where credit is due. And I think that even though he struggled in one preseason game and that left him at the QB3 spot behind Dillon Gabriel and, of course, Joe Flacco, do I think he has the potential to show up in the National Football League and to make some noise? Sure. But primarily is because I believe so much in his dad.
And that's where we begin today. Because when a rookie quarterback, sitting third on the depth chart, looks straight at the cameras and says he's ready to play right now, that is not just confidence. That is a challenge to the league, to the veterans, and to his own organization. Shedeur Sanders just threw down the gauntlet, and the entire NFL took notice. Now think about this. Cleveland has him buried at QB3, behind Dillon Gabriel and Joe Flacco, but Shedeur is saying he can outplay some starters in the league today. And if you watched what Stephen A. Smith and Ryan Clark had to say, you know this isn't just about talent. It's about perception, pressure, and politics inside NFL locker rooms. Because here's the truth, Shedeur's words matter more than most rookies. He isn't just another quarterback prospect. He's Deion Sanders' son. He's a cultural lightning rod. He's a jersey seller. He's the guy everyone is already watching, even if the Browns pretend he's not part of their immediate plans. And that makes this quote explosive. Now let's break this down. On First Take, they played the clip where Shedeur said, "If things happen where I play, then I'll be out there, and I'd be ready to play. I'm ready to play right now." If you see the quarterback play in the league right now, I know I'm capable of doing better than that. That last part? That's the landmine. That's the spark. Saying you can play better than what's out there right now? That's not just confidence. That's calling out the entire quarterback fraternity. And Stephen A. was quick to say, hold on. You've got to be careful because in this league, every word gets held against you. But let's be real here. Was Shedeur wrong? Look around the league. Look at some of the quarterbacks starting games right now. Can anyone honestly say that Shedeur, who threw for over 4,000 yards at Colorado and completed over 72% of his passes, isn't at least capable of matching what some of those guys are doing? That's not arrogance. That's evidence. And yet, Stephen A. is right too. Because the NFL isn't just about ability. It's about politics. It's about optics. And when you're the son of prime time, when you're the most polarizing rookie in the game, your words will always be twisted, magnified, and used against you. This isn't just about football. It's about how the NFL handles a young, outspoken star who refuses to stay quiet. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. Cam Newton, who knows a little something about being a lightning rod himself, said it flat out. Stay ready. He told Shedeur, understand not just the quarterback position, understand the professionalism this game expects from you. First one in, last one to leave. Take care of your body. Perfect your routine. Maximize your moment. That's not criticism. That's mentorship. That's Cam telling Shedeur, I see you, I believe in you, but this league will eat you alive if you don't master the politics behind the talent. And then Ryan Clark jumped in with maybe the most important point. Shedeur Sanders isn't just any rookie. He's under a microscope. Dillon Gabriel doesn't get this kind of coverage. Joe Flacco doesn't. Even Jalen Milroe and Quinn Ewers, guys who are on NFL rosters, don't. But because their names don't move culture. Their jerseys don't outsell stars. They're not Deion's son. But Shedeur? He's third on the depth chart, and yet he's number one in jersey sales. Number one in cultural relevance. Number one in attention. That's why his words matter. That's why his every move is news. So the question becomes, how should Shedeur handle it? Should he play the game quietly, giving generic answers, waiting his turn like a typical rookie? Or should he lean into who he is, embrace the spotlight, and say out loud what he truly believes? That's the tightrope Shedeur has to walk. Because as Stephen A. warned, this league will set you up to fail. Teams will throw you in with bad supporting casts just to prove you can't hang. Coaches will test your ego. And fans? They'll either crown you or crucify you. For Shedeur Sanders, every word is a weapon, and every snap could be a verdict. But here's where the conversation took a fascinating turn. Cam Newton floated a team, the Cincinnati Bengals. Imagine that. Shedeur in Cincinnati, learning behind Joe Burrow, waiting for his shot in a stable system. Or even Miami, Cam jokingly said, "What can he do, lose a game?" But behind that joke is a real question. Are there teams out there that could actually give Shedeur a fair shot to prove himself sooner than Cleveland? Because here's the harsh truth. The Browns feel divided. Some in the organization reportedly love Shedeur. They know he's good for business. He puts Cleveland in headlines. He keeps fans engaged. But does Kevin Stefanski really want him as his quarterback? That's the question. Does management see him as the future, or just a marketing tool? And here's where you, the fans, come in. Let me ask you, do you believe Cleveland truly wants Shedeur Sanders as their long-term quarterback? Or are they just keeping him around because he sells jerseys and brings attention? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now.
To the best of your ability.
Listen, I know how to be honest and self-aware, right? Deion Sanders is a big brother to me. I love Shedeur Sanders. I think he prepares. I think he works hard. I think he's dedicated to his craft. I look at the NFL, Tennessee, Atlanta, the Giants, New Orleans, Cincinnati, the Jets, Cleveland, Miami, Houston, Carolina, Denver, Minnesota, New England. I think all of those teams have the exact same record if Shedeur Sanders is their quarterback. Also, I think this though, I've not heard from Jalen Milroe this year. He's actually played snaps in games. I haven't heard from Quinn Ewers this year. He's the third quarterback in Miami. I haven't heard from Dylan Gabriel, who's actually the number 2 in Cleveland. The thing about Shedeur Sanders is he also has to understand what comes along with being Shedeur Sanders. What is the microscope of being Shedeur Sanders? How everything that I say and do is going to be critiqued as to how prepared I am to lead an organization. Because for whatever it's worth, I tell this to any young kid I talk to, you have to know who you are in every room and who everybody else is in that room. It doesn't mean you got to dim your light. It doesn't mean you have to have fake modesty or humility, but you got to understand, in Cleveland, you're the third quarterback. In Cleveland, you're the 5th.
Think about it. If Dylan Gabriel goes out there and struggles, fans will be screaming for Shedeur. If Joe Flacco shows his age and the offense sputters, the pressure will be unbearable. And as Stephen A. said, the more inept Cleveland's offense looks, the less excuse they'll have to keep Shedeur on the sideline. Because right now, that Browns defense, it's elite. It's Super Bowl caliber. Myles Garrett is wrecking games at a Lawrence Taylor, Reggie White, Aaron Donald level. That defense is giving Cleveland every chance to win. And yet the offense is wasting it. So how much longer can you justify leaving Shedeur on the bench? The Browns' defense is championship ready. The offense is dragging them down. And Shedeur Sanders is standing right there, waiting for his chance. So now here's the real dilemma. Shedeur Sanders doesn't just have to prove he can play. He has to prove he can handle the politics of the NFL spotlight. And that's why Ryan Clark's advice hits so hard. He told Shedeur, know who you are in every room. Understand how you're viewed, and understand how everyone else in that room sees you. That doesn't mean dim your light. That doesn't mean fake humility. But it does mean understanding the situation in Cleveland. Right now, you're the third quarterback. You're a 5th-round pick. You're not Joe Flacco. You're not even Dylan Gabriel in their eyes. And because of that, you will be treated differently. Shedeur Sanders might be the most popular rookie in the league, but inside Cleveland's building, he's still treated like the underdog. And Ryan Clark laid it out perfectly. He said, when you spoke about every rep being a game rep, that was perfect. That's exactly what a 5th-round, 3rd-string quarterback should say. That's leadership. That's professionalism. But when you start talking about how you're better than what's out there in the league, that shifts the story. That makes the narrative about your mouth instead of your grind. But let's pause for a second and ask the audience. Do you think Shedeur should keep talking boldly, speaking his truth, or do you think he should lay low until he gets on the field? I want to know where you stand, confidence or caution. Now here's the thing. Cam Newton jumped back in and reminded everyone, two things can be true at once. Shedeur can be both right and wrong. He can absolutely be talented enough to outplay starters today, but at the same time, he's still going to be judged under a different, harsher microscope. Dillon Gabriel will never face the same scrutiny. Shedeur Sanders will. What? Because he's third string on the depth chart, but first in jersey sales. He's the cultural lightning rod of that team. He's the player the media follows. He's the player fans debate. And that's why Stephen A. said it best. The more Cleveland's offense struggles, the less excuse the team will have to keep Shedeur buried. Because at some point, you cannot waste a defense this good. You cannot keep wasting the brilliance of Myles Garrett, the leadership of that unit, the opportunities they're creating. And if Flacco looks cooked, if Gabriel looks overwhelmed, how long before the fans demand Shedeur? Every week Cleveland loses, the chants for Shedeur will only get louder. And once the crowd turns, no coach can ignore it forever. But here's where the discussion turned controversial. Cam Newton posed the question, does Kevin Stefanski even want Shedeur as his quarterback? Does the Browns organization really see him as the future? Or are they divided, split between the business side that loves his popularity and the football side that never wanted to draft him in the first place? That's the hidden war here. Some people in that building want Shedeur. Others don't. And when your front office and coaching staff aren't aligned, the rookie always suffers. The leash gets tighter. The spotlight gets harsher. And every mistake feels bigger than it really is. So let me ask you, do you believe the Browns organization is united behind Shedeur Sanders? Or are they secretly split, holding him back because he wasn't their choice? Let me know what you think in the comments. And this is where Stephen A. drove it home. He said the Browns might not have a choice. Because losing games without Shedeur makes no sense. If you're already losing, if your offense is already failing, why not put the rookie in? At least give the fans hope. At least give the locker room energy. At least give the kid a chance. And let's not forget, this is a player with pedigree. This is Deion's son. This is someone raised under the harshest spotlight who has already shown resilience at Colorado. He knows what it's like to carry expectations bigger than himself. The question is, will the Browns ever give him that chance? Cleveland's defense is Super Bowl caliber. Their offense is basement level. And the one player who could change that sits on the sideline, helmet in hand, waiting. Now, here's something that hasn't been talked about enough. Cam Newton and Ryan Clark both said it. Sometimes in the NFL, you just have to play the game. That means giving boring answers. That means saying, I'll be ready when my number is called, and nothing more. That means keeping your confidence close to your chest until the moment you're actually on the field. But here's the flip side. If Shedeur plays that game too well, if he hides his edge, if he swallows his confidence, will he still be Shedeur Sanders? Because what makes him unique, what makes him marketable, what makes fans believe in him, is that he doesn't sound like the others. He's not Flacco. He's not Gabriel. He's unapologetically Prime's son. So what do you want, NFL fans? Do you want Shedeur to play the game quietly, fitting into the league's box? Or do you want him to keep being himself, bold, outspoken, ready to call out mediocrity when he sees it? Because here's the reality. The NFL doesn't always reward individuality. It punishes it. And unless Cleveland unites behind him, unless Stefanski and ownership get on the same page, this situation could end ugly. And that leads us to the biggest question of all. What if the Browns never truly believed in him? What if Shedeur Sanders was drafted as a business move, not a football move? What if this organization is divided top to bottom on whether he's the future? If that's the case, then Shedeur isn't just fighting for playing time. He's fighting the system. He's fighting politics inside his own locker room. And that is a battle few rookies ever win. This isn't just about Shedeur Sanders versus Dillon Gabriel. This is Shedeur Sanders versus an entire NFL machine that may not want him to succeed. So let's bring this full circle. Shedeur said he's ready to play right now. And he meant it. And whether you think that was arrogance or honesty, the truth is simple. The Cleveland Browns can't hide him forever. Their defense is too good. Their offense is too bad. Their fan base is too loud. Sooner or later, Shedeur Sanders will get his chance. And when he does, the question won't be about what he said in an interview. The question will be about whether he can seize that moment and prove all the doubters wrong. Because make no mistake, Shedeur Sanders isn't just playing for a roster spot. He's playing for a legacy. He's playing to prove that the confidence, the bravado, the spotlight, all of it wasn't just hype. And when that moment comes, the NFL better be ready. So what do you think? Should Shedeur Sanders stay quiet and play the NFL's game? Or should he keep speaking his truth, even if it ruffles feathers? Drop your takes in the comments. I'll be reading them. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and join us here at Gridiron Insights, where we bring you the real stories behind the NFL headlines. This saga is just beginning, and trust me, you don't want to miss what happens next.